I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Hot as fuck! Yep, that is what we should have called it instead of global warming or climate change, because both sound so innocuous and harmless. Global warming. Nice and warm. And climate change, it's just something that happens. It gets colder, it gets warmer. Yeah, change. Moving on. Hey, you know what? Let's go clear cut a rainforest to build a drag strip and burn some tires off in it in my Dodge Hellcat. It's only climate change. So, we are no longer calling it climate change or global snuggly warming. It's officially, according to the U.S. Weather Investigation Service, hot as fuck. Burning season came early to California this year. It's July, and we've already had a couple of large chunks of small towns burned to the ground due to officially hot as fuck. Fire has gotten cocky and started coming into towns like a gunslinger. In Death Valley, we reached the hottest reliable recorded temperature in history. 130 degrees. 130! You know what that is? Hot as fuck. The rash of underpant fires amongst bicyclists was devastating. Now, if you can't agree at this time, after the ice caps are melting, the oceans are dying, and wildfires are now just, that's how it is.
I don't think science knows, actually.
Then A, we know you're not vaccinated. B, you believe in Q, and C, your truck has giant fake testicles hanging off of it. And you'll probably try to shoot climate change. I hope that hurricane comes to my house, because I got something for it. You know, I remember reading about global warming in elementary school, that it was coming in a couple of decades, and it would devastate the planet we live on. And I paid as much attention to that information in school as I did to spelling the word guarantee. Here is what hot as sandwich is already doing to our world. 1/3 of the major lakes and rivers in the world are drying up, affecting groundwater wells for 3 billion people. Thank God human beings don't need water to live. What? We do need water to live. Oh. Coral reefs are dying. In 2016, 93% of the giant barrier reef was hit by the worst coral bleaching ever witnessed. Now, half the reef is dead or dying. Anal bleaching good, coral bleaching bad. And due to the longer, warm, or hot as seasons, bark beetles are killing our forests in the West at crazy rates. Trees make oxygen. Thank God human beings don't need air to live. What? We do need air to live. Huh. But the thing I just read today should stop all fossil fuels and polluting production on the planet. Beer. We won't be able to make beer. In 2018, a study suggested there will be dramatic decreases in beer supply and increasing beer prices due to extreme drought, which means you can't grow hops and barley due to the weather. Also, because of the droughts, lack of clean water, and heat brought on by hot as fuck in the coming decades. So I want all you climate deniers to remember this Armageddon update when you were paying $32 for a 2040 Coors fucking Light. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. I could use a beer while they're cheap.
It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
That's a wrap. All right, see you guys.
2, 1. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hi, how's it going? With me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Hylinder.
There could be only one.
So the Armageddon Update, it was called Hot as Fuck. You can bleep that too in the editing. I'm stunned. They said that we are hitting, Portland got like to 115.
Yes.
So we're hitting records everywhere?
Portland.
Everywhere?
Like Canada. There was a Canada in the 100. Canada's way up. So
they're having a summer. They're for the first time.
They're having like a summer in Death Valley. They're having a summer. Canadians say, "Hey, this is pretty hot, eh?" Like little small children bursting into flames. It's bad.
It's hot.
And the thing is that yet we're in fire season in California. My whole life started in late August or September. But since you've been here, it's
progressively,
moved. It's moved from September to
all year.
Now we're in July. Oh yeah. November is a good fire season too. March.
That's what
fire as it's snowing.
That's what I'm most worried about when you see everything changing so obviously now. Before it was
it's picking up pace.
Yes, And thank you. I need help with words today. I'm very tired. This wedding thing was awesome, and I'm so happy it's over.
We just got back from a family wedding.
Speaking of fires, anything to put out?
You know what, man? I will say this. I always say that. I say funerals and weddings have something bad will happen. One thing has to go crazy to focus everybody on the importance of the event.
I see, right?
You know, that's I always
start
believe
a war.
There's always something happening during our wedding. Something happened, but the wedding was over and something happened, and it was handled really quickly.
It's fine. So we'll skip past that because I'm ready. I don't even want to give that life.
Right. Plus, you're already tired, so
it's just like
What if someone listens to this? You know, what I've noticed is people actually watch this.
No.
Yes, and they listen to it. So if we talk about it,
these are on.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't know?
Hello.
This wasn't for us.
You won't hear it because you don't have headphones.
Right.
This isn't for us.
It was great.
But the wedding was fun.
My brother, I got to be with Jersh, my brother, for the first time in 2 years.
It was awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
It was like it always is. We drank way too much, blamed each other for it the next day.
Everybody blamed each other.
Bottle of scotch, we blamed each other for it. Wasn't me. I just want to be clear.
No, it wasn't me. I didn't drink it either. He did.
I did, however, that
did
night.
Come in. And you're like, you grab Josh's and be like, blurg. I'm not drinking this at all. Can I have another one? Blurg. You just kept.
I was doing that bit that I do to you sometimes where when you turn your back, I'll drink your whole drink and set it back down. And I just love watching and you see people have this whole moment of, did I?
The Jerry Lewis moment.
This got lighter, yes.
But that was the same evening. I was in my pajamas, and my sister had gotten a room right across the hall, and we had a room right here, and
I had a room.
Josh and I were all together drinking, and my sister is 7 years older. She was always the one that was way more responsible and would discipline us. And so we fall back into those roles because I was supposed to sleep in her room, but I wanted to stay up and play. And so
because me and Josh were there laughing, being stupid.
Apparently that was the night that I thought we all did, but I guess I started composing an operetta.
Did you know? We're not talking about this. No, we're not talking about you. You don't want to talk about it. We're not talking about this.
What's wrong?
I don't want to talk about this.
Wait, which part? The song?
None of it. It's the dumbest stuff I've ever. The
It's
more
amazing.
I thought about it, you can't.
Ladies
it is
and
lame.
gentlemen.
Nope. You can't explain it.
It makes no sense. But I did try it, and so we were all laughing hysterically because we made sense to us.
But we love about Josh. We're all fans of Monty Python. So if she started this stupid thing, and then instead of being like, "You're dumb," we were like, "Hey, all right,
I'm in."
You guys were dancing to it,
yes.
and I went back across the hallway and tried to explain it, even though they told me not to.
Try to sell tickets.
She goes,
"I got to tell Shay about this," and we went, "No, I don't do it because we need some respect."
So I went over and tried, and all she said was, "You're being weird." So I said, "I forgot something." And so I left and went back, ran down the hallway in my pajamas,
grabbed
back
Josh's
to them.
skirt, and then did it again. Yeah,
5 years old is my whole point.
Yeah.
All three of us were 5 years old. My dad came.
He was great.
Made it. Yep.
He was funny, man. His speech, his toast at the wedding, it was really funny.
He was very funny. He's a trip. So it was a good week. But I'm really tired.
Yeah. And tomorrow, so this Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to be in Arkansas, or Arkansas, as I first read it as a child.
I actually just saw, because I've kind of quit social media to a large extent, and I was getting my nails done, and I decided to check in on Twitter, which is always really confidence.
Oh, that's the place to go right there.
Yeah. What are these people?
Plenty of.
What are these people who love me saying about me?
35% vaccination rate in Arkansas.
Yeah, we've for whatever reasons, my agents at ICM have put me on the COVID Lives tour. Dallas, Houston. Arkansas. I think we're going to India next.
You have a gig in Israel. I know that.
Israel, doing Israel in a school.
Thailand.
Thailand, North Korea.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 35%, not so great. And they were saying the hospitalizations were going up. So,
doctor said Missouri, which is another bad state, because we're going to Kansas. Are we going to Kansas City?
Kansas City the very next weekend. Is that another bad one?
I just picked it. Yeah, we're on the Titus. They put by the way, all the other comics like, I ain't going there. Like, who will go there? Titus. And by the way, if you get my money, if you pay me my money, I will go to any disease-ridden hellhole.
Also, it's because you don't. It's because you
that's
don't
where I
know.
learned to do comedy.
You don't know geography too, so they're like, he'll never figure it out. He'll
you
see
know exactly which
Missouri
one's
on
which.
the news, and he'll be like, "I'm not going to Missouri. I'm going to Kansas
Minneapolis.
City."
I bought flip-flops.
Exactly.
That Minneapolis is in Florida. So yeah, it's bad. Missouri, they said that there was 20 a month ago. They had 20 people in ICU. Now they've got 97 for COVID, and they said they're in their 20s and 30s, and that's the problem now. I just don't get, as I said in the new show, if the vaccine gave us bigger boobs and bigger penises, we'd have got herd immunity week 1. Herd immunity week,
you
that
guys
Tuesday.
Both want bigger boobs?
Yeah,
for the community.
Well, also to balance out my bigger penis. You want to have a decent
balance,
aesthetic.
Yeah.
He got booby doo disease. Stick out farther than his booby doo. What did you do while
5.
we were
You're
gone?
right. You're 5.
I know, I'm 5. I've been around my brother, so it's going to take me a couple weeks to re-mature.
So we go to Arkansas this week, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You were here alone. How was that?
What happened here?
This is new.
Let's see. Global warming happened.
Very hot here.
Oh, the AC broke.
The AC broke. Fantastic.
No, it did?
Yes.
Last week?
Yes.
Did I know that?
Did you know that? No, I don't think you did. Maybe
he
not.
called me and said they were working on it.
Yeah.
Did you stay here or did you go home?
No, I stayed.
How long was it out? All day?
No, for like 2 hours.
So he was naked in a jock strap the whole day. Just like, nope, too
just
hot.
fanning myself.
Ew.
That's why I'm glad we're on the road. We're on the road. I don't give a shit.
So,
What seat did you use? What chair? I want to make sure chair. I don't want to be using your chair.
noticeably hot here last
Noticeably
week.
hot, yet although Clumsy's shrine is
well, they'd redone it.
It's
and
redone.
Then this is the second time they took it down.
There's a little tree with a hat hanging on it.
There's a tiny shrine around Clumsy's memory. Pinwheel's still there. No one has, which I find really weird. No one has stolen the pinwheel.
Well, who wants a pinwheel? And what are you going to do with it?
I'm just, I
mean,
mean.
what can you put it in?
But also,
Recycle?
what kind of gang shooting happens if who took Clumsy's pinwheel, man? We're going to find that guy. Telling you right now, we're going to go find this guy. We're going to take him out. Hey, man, where'd you get that pinwheel? I found it. Yeah, you found it? You're going to find a bullet. What? Man killed over pinwheel.
That was the same accent I used in my operetta.
That is true.
The paint on the update is clearly, you can see
different.
Where the
you see where the line is.
Yeah, it's
I keep hoping that we will get the other side of global warming in that maybe we'll have a little snow here this winter. Which would be awesome.
No, we had that like 5 years ago. Do you remember, or no, 5 or 10 years ago, do you remember when the cabin, it got in the lake, they were talking about the drought, it's 100-year drought, it's going to be desert, and the lake that's on the way out of down the mountain Maloney's was almost empty. And then in 1 year, we had like 27 feet of snow, and the lake was full at the end of that year. And we're like, all right, yeah, but good morning, my ass. And
but I mean here in Los Angeles. Do you remember when it snowed in Vegas a couple years ago? A couple years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, by the way, what you just said, can't we just all admit that things are fucked up? Like so what's happening is the ice is melting, changing the ocean currents. The ocean currents, what's happening is it used to go, the water used to do this, go warm, and then it would go back up, and then it would get cold, and that's how weather happened. Well, now because it's all melting, all the temperatures are becoming, closer. The water's not moving like it should, so weather's going like, hey, let's fucking have a, hurricane where? I don't know, Kansas? Hurricane.
These places.
Yeah, exactly, wherever, roll the dice, boom. Hurricane roulette, we're having like a thunderstorm roulette, where it's crazy. Things are just
whip up all the unvaccinated, deposit them around the world.
I have a question about this. Is Fox trying to kill its viewers?
Yes.
Doesn't it seem
now
like that?
It just came out that Rupert Murdoch got vaccinated.
Before Trump did.
Yeah, and then he encouraged his people to be vaccinated, but then they're vaccinated and going on the news and saying, don't take the vaccine.
It makes zero sense. It's so confusing.
I'm saying, but what's the upside of that is what? Do you have too many viewers and people that watch your program that you want them to die?
They want stronger immune system viewers or something. Weed out the weak.
We just want stupid people that are real strong. We want to get rid of all the weak. Listen, we need some stupid people that'll go that maybe next time we'll take over the Capitol.
Right. They can knock all the doors down.
These fuckers just left. We want some people that are going to stay. Need an immune system.
How about OAN and Newsmax is really kind of saying some craziest stuff. Although Tucker Carlson does
pretty good.
Yeah,
he's playing
well.
OAN and Newsmax. We've lost our way in this country. There was a thing called the Fairness Doctrine. We've talked about it before, where Reagan killed it. Reagan was really good friends with Roger Ailes, who ran the Fox network forever. So they got this thing killed. Fairness Doctrine meant you had to have the news had to be truthful. And when they killed that, Fox News came about, and slowly over the next 30, 40 years has now built into a propaganda television. It's full-on propaganda.
Yeah, but you know what? That's
it's worse than what we do.
It's what people like now. We were talking about that. Reality shows, salacious sells. The real stuff is boring. That's what people are saying about Biden right now. His speeches are boring.
Good. Thank God.
Right?
Yeah.
We all have PTSD, so
Yeah.
I'm great with it.
I want boring.
Okay,
For
so
him.
if you're wondering about climate change, you can go on climate.nasa.gov, and they actually have a link that you
NASA,
can...
deep state NASA.
No,
NASA,
no, it's
they
not even
they
a
don't know.
thing. They do.
What does NASA study? Space? Shit.
The moon.
Earth? Planets? Come on, man. Now, what does NASA do? How does NASA know about
Climate.
the weather? Oh. What?
Okay, so they have a link that you can click on called Evidence. It's a very great page to go to if you're saying there's no proof. And they are saying that the evidence for the warming of the climate system is unequivocal. So we have a global temperature rise. The average surface temperature has risen about 2.12 degrees Fahrenheit since the late 19th century, largely driven by increased carbon dioxide emissions and other human activities. But most of that warming has occurred in the past 40 years, with the 7 most recent years being the hottest.
So I remember in the Weekly Reader in my class.
Yeah, I love
Which
that.
I thought we had a
Highlights.
we had a Weekly Reader, and I think we had 2 of them. We had a Weekly Reader, which was fun, and then we had like a science one. And every once in a while, it was great because school stopped for a second,
Right?
And we all got to read and talk about stuff. And I remember reading about this in elementary school. That the climate will change. They're finding out that, and this was before Exxon and stuff got involved and started countering the science with their own experts. So this one science mattered. We'd put a guy in space and men on the moon, and then we were like, oh, you know what? The science is good. Oh shit, climate's going to change. And then it just flipped, and it was like, yeah, no, it's no big deal.
Okay, we also have a warming ocean. The ocean has absorbed much of that increased heat. The top 100 meters of ocean are showing warming of more than 0.6 degrees Fahrenheit since 1969.
Which is killing all the coral. We just talked about that in the Oregon update.
Yep, shrinking ice sheets. This is the one that's really terrifying
Yeah,
to
we're
see.
fucked.
They have found that Greenland lost an average of 279 billion tons of ice per year between 93 and 2019, while Antarctica lost about 148 billion tons of ice per year.
And it's still going. It's not stopping.
That's how much water DWP is saying we're using at our house.
I know.
Right now.
We're gone all the time. Dude, okay,
We just got a report when we got home.
But here's the thing with that is like, it's not stopping. See, here's the thing. We haven't put the brakes on. We haven't done anything to stop it.
Correct.
And just continue. This is, if we stopped now, if we stopped all production of fossil fuels and everything, just stopped it right now and stopped, all the burning, and we turned it around. It would take 10 years to stop. Then it would slowly start turning the other way, and it would take another 50 years to even start a bit. So you and me, our lives, we're fucked.
Did you talk about the ocean being on fire in your Armageddon update?
No, I didn't. Did you guys see that? In
Yes.
the Gulf of
and
Mexico.
I felt like, well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
The ocean's on fire.
The
What else?
ocean is on fire. I'm sorry. I saw the picture and I'm like, it looked like the worst special effect I'd ever seen.
Actually,
I'm
you
like,
were
how?
watching the video in the bathroom. And do you remember? And I walked by and I thought something was wrong with you. And when you came out, I said, are you okay? And you go, babe, you got to see this video. The ocean's on fire. But that's how I found out that the ocean was on fire.
Because you heard me, you thought I was having
Exclaiming.
trouble.
That was like a metaphor for something.
I heard
Oh,
you.
wait. So I'm in the bathroom. I'm going, no, I was going, holy fuck.
He was
So
on
she's
fire.
Way too much truff.
Yeah.
The ocean's on fire.
No such thing.
I thought something was wrong with you.
And
Turns
the
out the planet is just burning.
And the
down.
weird thing is, so it was, I guess it was a gas leak under a pipeline was leaking. And it was coming up through the water, but it had caught on fire somehow. So the water was burning. What the fuck? Like, how do we get to this place on the planet where the water is burning? I don't get it. We've lost our way. And one of our good friends is one of the head lawyers for the California Air Resource Board, and he tells us like there was that we had a gas leak over here up in Porter Ranch, and it went on for 10 months. Yeah. They had to buy people's houses.
Yes,
they had to purchase people's houses, but it's all quiet. It's all quiet. In the 70s, there was things where we would actually, if there was a chemical spill, we knew about it. They were on it. This is bad.
Like the Valdez.
And
I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
And all it took was for the right to actually just keep cutting the regulations, and now we have fucking people. You know, I just thought about this today.
But wait, it's not just the right. Correct, because didn't we just find out that Manchin? Well, I mean, I know he seems kind of right now, but wasn't he on the list of one of the biggest?
Yeah,
Exxon?
him and Senator Sinema and Kristen Sinema from Arizona are both getting paid by Exxon, by oil companies.
And coincidentally, they're the ones that aren't really siding with the Democrats.
And one of the oil company exec goes, "Oh no, we got them. We were glad we got those guys in our pocket." They came out and said that publicly.
It came out on accident, though, right?
Yeah, but someone had said it on a thing to a bunch of other people. Like it was a meeting, and some guy go, "No, we got Manchin and Sinema on our sides." Yikes. So it's never going to.
And they've been funding their own studies to counter the other studies. So there's a study battle. So
they
keeps it going.
Really interesting.
They formed a scientific board to prove that what they were doing wasn't happening. Yeah.
For example, with the melting ice sheets, the glacial retreat, which we haven't talked about yet, disappearing snow cap on Kilimanjaro, decreased snow cover. The thing is, NASA is they're imaging that from space.
Yeah. Oh, and how about these?
They can see it.
Speaking of space, these fucking assholes doing their, Branson and Musk. Come on, what?
Well, Richard Branson said, we are going to make space accessible to everyone.
I loved what you said. I just saw your tweet.
As long as you have $250,000.
No.
People are eating ramen.
He said, imagine something, but basically how anyone of any economic level we're all the same, and we can begin our, place in space as one. Imagine that. And you said, homeless people need homes.
I said, homeless people got plenty of space. They need roofs.
Right. But yeah, why would I sat there thinking, this is why I don't read Twitter a lot. It's very stressful. Why would he think that we all have equal access when people have to buy that ticket? That's how
I think everybody, no matter what economic level, you justify your assholeness. And I think to go, listen, him and Bezos, if I had $180 billion, I'd be like, I'm bored. I get it. What if we built a rocket? If I can build a rocket. As I said on Twitter, no one should be rich enough to buy their way off the planet. You shouldn't be able to just go, I have enough money, I'm just going to go fly in space. You cool?
Yeah.
And can we talk about
another? That's a good rule to have.
Yeah. It's just a basic.
I would say that, or you could be like his ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, who instead of just being bored and deciding to eject herself into space, she's giving billions of dollars away to charitable organizations.
She's already given away $10 billion. And by the way, Mackenzie, if you're out there and you want to fund a small production company that's only up to doing movies that really want to make a difference, and make a difference and make people laugh, call us. We'll turn it into a 501(c)(3) and we'll make sure that
or
it's
a C3.
Yeah, that's what I said. And we'll make it. So Mackenzie, thank you. And by the way, we've all thought that though. If she's giving away $10 billion, I could take. Give me $2.
Yeah, just like
give me $2 billion. give me $2 million. $2 million. Like, listen, you probably lost it getting out of the car.
Give me a little sock drawer money. Right? That's all you need.
$2 million. Her sock drawer money is like $500 million.
Glacial retreat and decreased snow cover. There's sea level rise. Global sea level rose about 8 inches in the last century.
Miami floods all the time now.
However, the rate New Orleans is in trouble. The rate in the last 2 decades is nearly double that of the last century. Just in the last 20 years, double that of the last century, accelerating every year.
I think Al Gore somewhere going, you guys are assholes.
I know.
I told you.
Declining Arctic sea ice. The extent and thickness of Arctic sea ice has declined rapidly in the last several decades.
I saw a shaved polar bear in a tank top. That's the new Coca-Cola ad. It's just a shaved polar bear.
She was hot.
Jesus Christ. Woo!
extreme events, which we're seeing all the time now.
We're used to, they said hurricane season is like increased so much. Now there's just hurricane out. We're used to another one coming in. Oh, there's one behind it. There's another one. There's another one.
New name.
Yep.
And then ocean acidification. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the acidity of surface ocean waters has increased by roughly 30%.
And don't these numbers seem so like, 10, what's 10 inches? We'll fix it in 50 years.
How many things did I just list? How many? Was that 9, 10 things? And they all prove the same thing? They don't contradict.
Do you know the word? Do you know global warming was bad? And so it was the right-wing think tank actually came up with climate change to calm it down. They're bullshit words. That's why I said never get an update. It's hot as fuck.
Yeah, it's
going all the time. Yeah. Global warming. Oh, it feels it's just global warming.
It needs better
We're all
PR.
going to be snuggly. It's all going to be. It's like go. Do
you know what makes me?
It's climate change. Sorry. Climate change is it's changing a little bit. Okay. And we're not doing anything about it. It's hot as fuck, and people, and they said the frogs are dying. There's and then on top of all this, we've got apartment buildings in America falling down, falling the fuck down. In states and bridges where we won't cut regulations. Yeah, man, you're holding back the economy. Well, I guess the economy can grow if there's a lot less people alive. I just don't quite get it.
So this is the thing, though. This is the thing that kind of drives me crazy. And I hate being like them and us because I was them and now I'm really not them.
Now you're us. You are so us.
I am so...
You are so us now.
But it's because it's the shit that drives me crazy. You people spend a lot of time saying something's not true. It's fake news or pointing...
Deep state.
For example, Trayvon being killed. They spent a lot of hot air saying that Trayvon was a criminal and look at this thing from his school. He was a thief and George Zimmerman was defending himself. Then they were all dead silent in George Zimmerman's subsequent multiple domestic violence case and arrest and
the crazy shit he continued to do. I think he got arrested 5 or 6 times after that.
And then they all go away and they don't say anything. There's no mea culpa, which I guess, but when this is a great example that this has been screamed about for some time now. And especially
decades.
Yes. And in the last decade, it became like this huge, right, left, right saying, the temperature, it does this every 100,000 years and, it's cyclical. And I just feel like they don't look at the real evidence and react to it. They just respond to sound bites, which is why Fox is responsible and now OAN and Newsmax. They respond to sound bites. And I said this to my brother one time. I said, what could the left possibly be trying to pull over on you guys? What would they have to gain except for you guys not doing bad stuff to the environment anymore?
And why are they just being defensive about everything and trying to contradict whatever comes up?
Explained it. Because I was like, I don't get why this is partisan. Because to me, it's common sense, right?
Right.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You dump chemicals into the environment, there's going to be an adverse... Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. You're very good at this.
Fish die we can't eat. There you go.
No,
fish die.
1 + 1 is 3.
Yes, and that's what you're brilliant at.
Thank you.
And you said it's because of oil companies lobbying, and they can only lobby really with the right. And so that's why it became a partisan issue. Well, now it's becoming really obvious. And I am noticing some people, even in my own family now, saying, making comments like it's, sure, I see that. Yeah, we need to do something. But nobody is like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah.
We got to fix this. We've wasted 50 years.
But
what
that goes to all that's happened in the last 5 years, at least. I mean, and no one, as it's coming out that Weisselberg was a scumbag and Epstein. They're talking about the guy Ken Starr came out today, the guy that defended Clinton and he defended Epstein. Like, what a scumbag! This guy seems to only defend. He only seems to defend people as an attorney who have been accused of sexual assault or sexual assaulting or raping a minor. He seems to.
Well, you can specialize in your field.
Yeah, but
so when you choose to, what you want to focus on
in that field.
Yeah. Take one case. Represent a rape victim.
What did he say today?
They were just talking about what the woman that knew him very well and just said that he just has this tendency to go after it. And what we're losing is what people don't quite get is that this is going to end. This isn't something that's going to go away. It's going if we stop right fucking now, it's going to go on for 20 more years. It's going to get worse. It's going to get fucking worse.
And we already are seeing that we can't really handle the worst that it is right now, where people are dying in these extreme events. Animals are dying. And
we saw bears. We were watching video today. Some bears in Tahoe came out of the woods with people on the beach to get in the water.
Oh my God.
The mom
and then
brought her cubs
for survival. To play in the water because they're hot as fuck. And people are so stupid. Phones out. Like I'm like, hey, guys, that's a fucking bear.
This isn't time for a fucking Instagram.
It's 3 little ones and a grizzly. Oh, look how cute. That may be the last word she said.
Bear.
Yeah. You know? What a bummer is. Look how cute is your last words.
Once the bear comes on the beach, it's the bear's beach.
It's the bear's beach.
Even if there's 100 people, it's the bear's beach.
I think you have to change the sign. Well, welcome to Bear Beach.
By the way, I really get like all of this. Everything we talk about is really stressful, and I feel like that is the world that we live on. And so I highly recommend, if you're feeling stressed out, even listening to us right now, that you try Feels
CBD
premium
oil.
CBD
By the way,
oil.
because you know why? Because you can watch global warming and anything bad happening and be like, oh, that's a bummer. And you don't feel it. You're just like, oh man.
Well,
it's a natural,
While
healthy
you're
way
eating
to
a sandwich
feel
and
better.
an Oreo. I don't understand.
Delivered directly to your doorstep, so you don't have to go out into the crappy world to get it. Naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness, which is something that I struggled from.
So last night we traveled the day before, and it's one of those days where we drank too much over the wedding weekend, got back, and then I had yesterday I thought I got COVID or something because I had this worst headache all day. I went before I worked out. I took 2 drops of CBD oil, and I worked out, and it was all gone. Now I'm sure it was a combination of both, but it did make a big difference.
He is not a doctor, and he is not recommending any combination of anything.
Working out?
I recommend working out. That for him,
after being hungover,
I recommend working out and CBD oil. I do
recommend
recommend
like
that.
One of those weekends where like I'm having Cheerios for breakfast with scotch instead of milk in the bowl.
Yeah, it was rough.
Like it was a lot.
On purpose.
So this is no hangover, no addiction.
Nope.
Unlike we experienced this weekend, comes to your door every month. You can get a membership. All you have to do is become a member and get 50% off of your first order, and that's a nice savings.
Right.
I went and did this, and it's a great savings.
That's half. That's half.
Yeah.
Is it 50%?
Yeah, that's half.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/Titus. 50% off your first order and free shipping. That's FEALS.com/Titus to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping.
I sleep better on it. I do sleep better on it.
I do greatly.
Yeah.
I notice it, and I didn't have it in North Carolina. And by the time I stayed with Grandma for 4 or 5 days, and by the time he got there, I was a complete and utter wreck. I hadn't slept in 4 nights. And that last day, it all came together, and I was shaking. I was so tired.
But that night you snuggle daddy and you sleep.
He likes to call himself daddy. It's very cute. Yes, let's move on.
So I want to talk about, because there's also because oil companies are paying all our politicians, because Citizens United, blah blah blah, we fucked our system up so bad. It's no longer about what works for America. It's only about what works for these companies that can pay the most money to the politicians to get the votes. That's what's happening. But in the old days, it used to be like they would work together and do what was best for America. I'm not saying we should fuck over companies. I'm saying there's a balance for both of us. What people don't quite understand about renewables is that, so right now we have oil. All the oil pipelines are built, right? They even said that, remember that one they just killed the pipeline.
Dakota one?
They just killed the Dakota one that was running across the Indian reservation. They'd already had a spill and they hadn't finished it. How do you have a spill and is it working? You fucking said it working yet. How do you spill? So they already spilled. So they canceled it. Biden came in and signed it. You can't do it. The oil company said, we're pulling out of it. The right was saying, oh, it's going to be thousands of jobs. Well, they found out that once the pipeline was built, it was 10 jobs. 10. Not 1,000.
Wow.
10 jobs extra is all that pipeline would have created after it was built.
Right, because what do you got to do to it?
Right.
Just like...
Right.
But if we go like this, we go, okay, so we now have a technology where between Tesla and those other solar companies, we have a technology now that with solar power that we could literally power the entire country 4 times over if we had solar panels on every roof. Well, to get solar panels on every roof, how many fucking jobs is that? And then everybody gets free. And but the utility companies don't want that. Oh. You don't get your own.
They have actively fought it in California, and they're trying to charge a rental monthly fee to be off the electrical grid. So I'm not using your product at all.
So they still want to bill you.
You're putting it back in. You're actually putting it back in.
It went through. And so
Same in Nevada.
Solar companies have sent out this petition asking California residents to sign it, saying this is unacceptable. But currently, you have to pay to not use electricity.
It's like $14 a month to not use their system.
No, it was way more than that.
$45, something like that?
No. I'll look it up. But when I read it,
my question is this. Okay, I'm just clip the wires. What are you gonna do?
At the time, it was like $1,400. I want to say, because I remember thinking it was like around what our bill would have been anyway.
So that's not gonna happen. That can't happen. So what these guys don't understand is, and it's because the solar companies don't have the money that an oil company has, but if the economy would boom between geothermal and solar. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people responding, well, let me break down the bleak economics of blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And once we do it, the technology get better and better and better and better until the solar cells are finally working so well. Mm-hmm. And we're already getting that with battery technology now anyway. It's getting close to, for cars anyways, what an ICE engine costs. So the jobs it would create, it's not people working in fucking coal mines or oil wells. It's people putting solar panels on roofs or working in crystal clean factories because they have to be. So we cure the health of the workers, and we get them outside in the fresh air, the black lung stops, and we shut down all this things. So we get 2 for 1. We get energy that's cleaner, energy that's better, energy that's cheaper, and we get rid of all the shit that's killing the planet. Mm-hmm. And where's the downside to that, except for these oil companies who, if I was Exxon right now, I'd be like, guys, I can see the future. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this much money into producing solar panels.
Right. Why don't they just...
We're going to build electric gas stations now because they can see it coming. And so Exxon's got these stations across the country, right? Well, what if Exxon said like this? All right, every third station we're going to start putting up test stations to see, and we're going to do like Tesla does. Yeah. But we're going to do other charges, so we have our own specific charges, because Tesla now charges for electricity. It's not free anymore. So start now, you fucking morons. I don't get why people listen. It's like looking at a tsunami coming at you. It's the same thing. It's tsunami. When the water goes out and you see what's happening, you don't run into where the water was and try to pick up stuff out of the sand. You run the other way because that thing's coming back. And people got to be able to see what's happening.
One way that you could reduce your emissions is by signing up for Butcherbox, because instead of...
By the way, we weren't here last week, so we have some ads to do.
Instead of running back and forth to the store, you're having this box of 9 to 11 pounds of meat that you curate, put in one box, one delivery.
You curated it. Hello,
comes to your house.
Oh, you curated it.
And you're not... Yes, I curated my meat. It's not a euphemism.
Close the door. I'm curating my meat.
I don't know why your guy who's masturbating always has that voice.
How do you know he's masturbating? What if he's actually curating his meat? What if he's in the smoker? What if he's smoking his meat?
Humanely sourced.
I think.
No, it's
create a lot of friction.
That's what Monica Lewinsky did.
Boom, ladies and gentlemen.
It's humanely sourced meat of your choosing. Yeah, I won't say curated again. Delivered right to your doorstep. You get options like 100% grass-fed and finished beef, free-range organic chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught lobster tails. They're back.
So
Wild-caught Alaskan salmon, sugar nitrate-free bacon.
Go to the site right now if you're going to get lobster tails, because the stuff will go fast. Again, I cannot say this enough. Every time we get a delivery from Butcherbox, the chicken, it's so good. All of it's good. But there's chicken, there's a density to it I just love.
The growth of this company, though, is crazy. So like I said, when I would go at first, it would be like, a small number of things, and it was all you needed. But now it is like a meat wonderland. Yeah. It is crazy. Also, and seafood.
We also don't trust our government, so we have a freezer now. So we freeze it up.
Right,
Good we have a garage freezer.
Yeah.
So if something happens, he's going to kill us probably.
Yeah, no.
So he and Wyatt can eat.
Can I get a sandwich? Got Wyatt. You have 2 sandwiches?
No. So today's sponsor Butcherbox wants you to celebrate your summer. They're offering new members 2 free lobster tails and 2 free ribeyes in your first box.
Go now.
What? Surf and turf. What? Yeah, you need to go now because people are always like, that went so fast. So again, 2 5-ounce lobster tails, 2 10-ounce ribeyes for free in your first box. You can get this special deal when you sign up for a new membership at butcherbox.com/Titus. That's butcherbox.com/Titus for free lobster tails and ribeyes in your first box.
Quality.
You're right. The lobster tails is like gone every time.
We have to go on right now. Actually.
Yes. Actually, we should have gone on before we announced it. Oh,
That's
wait, we're
true.
not live.
Yeah, right.
Boom.
So just so you guys know, as you're watching this, 2 days earlier in the past, we've already ordered the lobster tails.
That's why they're gone.
Sorry if they're gone. NASA's website for global climate change also has like where you can go and see your region and see the ways that climate change is going to affect your region. I went to Southwest because that's where we are. I don't like any of these options. Increased heat. It's already too effing hot.
We can just go outside.
The week that we were gone this past week,
Right.
I came back and the grass is turning brown. Trees
There's
are
some
dying.
burn spots in the grass.
It's burn spots. The avocado tree has burn spots all over it. And it's like...
It left a suicide note. The avocado tree left a suicide
Started
note.
smoking.
It
So
was,
it's just,
it
I'm
was
done.
like the peach tree
Look
cut
at
itself.
Yeah, but you're not... So what does that mean, right? That means that... I mean, what's the percentage of agricultural yield that comes from California?
Which is huge. And especially, this late in the season, harvest season's coming up, right? The end of
Well, it
summer.
depends on what you're harvesting.
Right.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I'm a farmer.
Yeah. But some of it's gonna go bad because it got burnt. It got too hot. And we in California does what, 2/3 or 1/3 of the nation's like fruit and vegetables?
Yeah, we also have declining water supply.
Yeah, that's
so
gone up.
what you're saying is not that the fruit's going to go bad. It's like we're not going to be able to grow here anymore.
Right.
There's not going to be enough water. Like what I was already thinking about our yard just in this 1 week I was gone was, man, I wish we could get like some kind of cover to pull over the whole yard to protect it. And you're not going to be able to do that with a farm. It's not going to work. So we have drought and so we have increased heat, drought, insect outbreaks, which I'm really not a fan of.
They were
so
saying
if you
that
guys
in-
could
in
stop using
Colorado,
gas-powered cars.
in
for me.
Colorado, the bark beetles are eating the trees at like double. So what's happening is because the season's getting longer because it's hotter, they're having two like
Yes.
growing. They're having 2 birth seasons. So you got double the beetles now eating the trees. Which again, as I said in the Armageddon update, trees give us oxygen. Thank God we don't need it.
Yes. We also have, so like I said, declining water supply, reduced agricultural yields, health impacts in cities due to heat, flooding, and erosion in the coastal areas.
Can I just say something, because this podcast has become something over the last 4 or 5 years that people say is quite liberal, and we had in the wedding I had a couple conversations with relatives. And they were talking about you're left. And I said, I'm not left. I'm an actualist. I actually go to NASA and to people that have done the science and the research. And what are the facts? Well, the facts are we're fucking the planet up and we're going to die if we don't fix it. Or a species is going to die. It's just going to be this weird unraveling. Bees are dying and then frogs are dying. Well, those are two. There's a reason those are in the ecosystem. And then more of the ecosystem, those any species connected to those two species dies. And then it just goes down to pretty soon we're like, we're fighting each other over water in the entire global, and we get down to 4 people and we're like, all right, we have enough now.
Well, I think where the problem comes down is when you just said we're fighting each other, and I thought, well, we're not going to be, most likely. I mean, we're going to be pretty uncomfortable probably, but it's the next generation. And I think that's why people care less.
2 generations.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean,
too far away.
it's already going to be rough in our lifetime. It already is.
Starting to,
But imagine the next generation, my 19-year-old niece.
But what I don't get though is why does caring about things make you a lefty? Why does caring that everybody should have the same rights make you a fucking liberal? Why does caring that you don't want to kill the planet so we can live make you a liberal? I'm just a factualist. Give me the fucking facts. Oh, we're killing everything? Why do you think that's good?
100%.
See, I think we should just change Republican to asshole, because if you believe all that's okay, you're an asshole. If you believe that people shouldn't have the same rights, and if you believe that it's okay to continue to poison the earth so we fucking can't eat or breathe, guess what? You're not a Republican. You're an asshole. That's how this goes. So I am a factualist. And again, if you want to argue with me, fact me or fuck off, because that's the problem. I have NASA on my side.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm mad. I'm really mad that there's.
Tell him
I have another thing. How come teaching history makes kids racist? That's another thing too. Seriously, why does teaching history make kids racist? Wouldn't it make them not racist because they would realize it was shitty?
Right.
Oh wow, we did that in the past. Let's don't do that
I'm
again.
sorry. Oh
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Feel
Not
that.
even I'm sorry. Wow, I'm sorry that happened. We won't do that on the next generation. Why is teaching kids history racist? I don't quite get it. Why is woke bad? Because I know shit. Because I know shit.
Okay, well that, like I told you yesterday,
I know this is what
there
we're
are
talking
some
about,
aspects of woke that it's a little. I'm like, we could focus our energy on some other things, and I don't mean.
No, I agree with that.
I don't mean some of the, not everything that people like Black Lives Matter. That's not being woke. That's just saying something and trying to affect change in a situation that desperately needs it and should have never needed it. But
the
it
whole
does.
pronoun thing.
But for example, I go to Lululemon. Lululemon was founded as a yoga pant company. It was a yoga clothing company. They made thongs called Namaste Put. Get it? Hey.
Namaste Put. They don't come off your butt.
And Namaste because it's a yoga company. And I couldn't find them. And I asked the guy about them. And he said, oh, we had to change the name to High Tech Performance, whatever, because Namaste is offensive to Indians. And I just think that...
Doesn't Namaste mean...
Doesn't it's just means
peace?
something?
Peace?
Right.
Does it mean peace?
But also you say Namaste at the end of
Is it
any
cultural
yoga
appropriation?
practice.
Is that what that...
And this is a yoga clothing company. So I just think there's some things that we could focus
That
our
I
energy
agree on. And by the way, yeah, but that's meaningless. That's meaningless shit on both sides. The same thing about how... I agree. There's... But woke... Or what's the opposite of it? Some guy going that, eat faggots! Yeah, and it's like, dude, why do you give a shit who people love?
No, but I think that you fall into this trap too sometimes of,
Explain.
The constant argument. It's what I thought about, like you and I would talk about during your divorce. If you can look back throughout those 14 years or whatever, yeah, don't think about it, but as a broad picture, and look at all the time spent in the and how little difference that actually made. That's what I'm saying.
But that's where I agree with you.
Like
though.
right now, CRT is the new soundbite, and everybody's arguing about it, and it's just like.
But you understand that's calling teaching history, coming up with a name, critical race theory for just history, is a little different than some company going, we want to sell more pants to Indians, so we're not going to say namaste. You do understand there's a difference in that, right? Not teaching history.
But I'm not saying that we shouldn't teach history.
I know, but you're comparing the two things are the same.
No, I'm saying in general that it's what my stepfather, who was an Army colonel, said to me once, keep your powder dry. I avoid the skirmishes so that I am well rested and prepared for the battle, for the war. And I do think that, man, like people right now are just so caught up in the fucking bitching back and forth on the news that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, some things matter, like I said, and being loud about them, like Black Lives Matter. That's something to get loud about.
Right.
But some of this little shit, man, I listen to both of them. I'll flip around sometimes and I just want to punch my own face sometimes.
That's hard to discern, though, is like what is
important
and not. Especially like when you hear somebody say, you don't want to teach history because why? You think that it's going to have a negative effect?
No, because telling the truth will make people think white people are bad.
Right. I thought facts didn't have feelings. I thought, isn't that that would be the opposite. That's the opposite thing. So then I get a visceral reaction, go, no, we should be teaching real history. Yeah, why is that a problem?
I think she's not talking about the little things. The namaste pan. And again, a company can do whatever it wants to do. And if, by the way, whatever happened that they had to do that, there's this other movement that is...
I mean the CRT thing. I mean, a lot of them don't even know what it is, don't know where it's taught, don't know the full premise of it, but it became a soundbite that Fox issued, that OAN issued.
Right.
They all were like, got it. CRT
then they started protesting
bad.
In schools.
And these dumb, fat, inbred idiots are like, fuck CRT. And
so we
then
took the
you've
bait,
got these. Yes.
Don't make
we
my
are
kid
baited by people who don't matter and don't even know what they're doing. And it does get us and gets
us off of.
But the problem is this. The people that are saying CRT isn't a thing they're accurate. It's not a thing. It's only taught in law school at the college level. It's a theory based that the economic policies of America were designed to keep black people and minorities out of business and stuff. And if you go through the history of it, redlining, we talked about it in Armageddon Update. It's true, but it's only taught.
But I know it is only taught, but I did think that there was an effort to try and put it into school.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Which I'm fine with, by the way.
No. What they're saying, there was absolutely no effort to put it in elementary, middle, or high school. Zero. This is what people don't go. So you bought it too.
I didn't buy it. I haven't gotten involved in that skirmish, so I haven't even really read about it.
Just ride with me on this. You did bring it up. You just said, I thought it was also, there was no push. Let me finish talking. There was no push to put it. There was no push to put it in any schools. Now what they're saying is, Fox is saying that any history taught, because by the way, they didn't even teach about the Tulsa fires when they burned down Black Wall Street.
I did not learn about that in school.
So they're saying that is CRT. Teaching what actually happened to black people is critical race theory. If you teach about slavery, it's critical race theory. Teachers Union came out last week and said, any of our teachers that continue to teach black history, we will pay their legal bills if they are sued by the state. You cannot continue to have a country that says it's free, that says it's always striving to be better, and not teach how fucked up we were at one point. We're not saying you're racist. We're not teaching your kids that your kids are racist. You are, by not letting them understand history.
You're actually not to be racist.
Yes, history teaches
we can't perpetuate it.
Yeah, here, this is bad. Now, unless what teacher's going to do? Go, well, slavery, there was some good sides.
I've seen that.
I don't understand why. So, but and then if you go to the left, the hardcore left, it's like you just go.
So this was what I read.
Tiring.
I just pulled up this article from when we did the podcast on critical race theory, and it says the topic has exploded in the public arena this spring, especially in kindergarten through 12, where numerous state legislatures are now debating bills seeking to ban its use in the classroom.
It's not being put in that's what they're saying. What they're using is they're writing a bill.
So I read that thinking that's what these people were getting all wound up
They're
about.
calling anything taught where one race is seen as the bad guy critical race theory. So what they're saying is if you teach slavery was bad in school, that counts as critical race theory. If you're teaching that burning down the Black Wall Street because blacks weren't even allowed to deal with real investment, they had to invent their own in their own stores, burning that down and saying white people did it is critical race theory. It's not just history. That's what those bills say. You cannot teach anything against another race of people. That's what they're saying. So they're saying that but
if you study history at all the history I learned was basically against white people. Because if you think about everything every atrocity was white people.
If you teach the genocide against Indians, that would be critical race theory.
Well, I didn't learn about that. For the first many years, I put a paper grocery bag upside down and had construction feathers.
Oh my God.
Thanksgiving.
I did look at it. Remember when they had turkey? I made a turkey with my hand.
No, they made it. I remember going to elementary school and we made our own construction paper feathers that they would staple together and then stick to a band. The band,
we had a band.
And what was the brown paper? Dinner. Oh, the brown paper bag was supposed to, and they cut fringe around the bottom. It was supposed to, how Native Americans looked.
Did it. They went down to the Piggly Wiggly, got a bag, and then they made their outfit. That's how it worked.
Yeah, so that in the beginning, I guess I wouldn't have learned that was an atrocity. But I did learn that in high school. I mean, it was hard to teach about Trail of Tears without, you kind of know who did that.
Had the word tears in it.
Pretty lame. It's not a fun time. Right. It's not a party.
Right.
But here's the thing. But what you just said.
I'll kill you.
I will fucking kill you for. I was going to stay on what you just said. Can
I talk, please?
Blah, blah, blah. Jesus Christ, go ahead. It's all you.
My turn.
My turn to talk. Boom. You shut up now.
I support that being taught. That's not what I was saying. I was saying I thought that because these legislatures are trying to put out bills saying it can't be taught. So they're just putting out these bills preemptively, and it's not a thing.
There was the 1619 project came out. and that was talked about what happened with slavery, how it started, what happened, and the truth about slavery, like an unvarnished truth. It freaked everybody out because they didn't want that to be taught in schools. But that's not critical race theory. They came up with the term. Critical race theory is a term that they came up with because it sounds bad.
I am really capable of hearing about racism and, you know, hanging out with some of our best friends and listening to them talk about firsthand accounts of horrific racism. And I am able to listen to that and learn about it and from it and not feel guilty.
I mean, you don't want to go cut your like, you know, cut
no,
your
I still like my skin when I leave
right.
those
you
dinner
don't
parties.
think, God, I'm horrible. Ow, gotta stop. White person, loser.
I've never thought that.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, me
I
either.
never have.
No little kid, you know what they do? They go there in playground with their friends and they go, that was horrible. I know it was horrible. I can't believe. That's what they do.
Right. And don't you start to think like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to help the situation? Like, you start thinking of like solutions and progress. And
you
like,
know
okay.
what? I remember
we
being
sit around and discuss like possible things that could be done and things that would affect change. Yes, it makes you get engaged in that game.
Leap into action.
Yes.
So can I say this? So remember, I want to go back to the left being too far. What you just described, and we made fun of it. The little kid, the second and third graders, putting feathers in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It's not awful. You're teaching little kids. If that's
and it's
how you,
a lie.
I'm just telling you, if that's how you get little kids to get into Native American heritage and learn about it, okay, I'm not mad about that. That's lefty. That's to get upset about that. Now, it's 6th grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, you start to go listen to the real history. But do you get a kindergartner and a first grader to just start to see what's going on?
I was a senior in high school when I did
Holy shit.
that. But
What school? Oh, the South. You were in the South. That's right.
Everything has
that's not
I
what
wore that fringe bag for many years.
That's not what I'm saying was awful. I'm saying the fact that I learned in elementary school that it was beautiful, and you learned about the cornucopia.
Yeah.
I only know what a cornucopia is
Right.
because we made one and we had food spill out of it because we gave the Indians so much food, and it was a beautiful day and we shared a table and everybody was so happy.
Doesn't that sound, as a grown human being and knowing history, did that happen? Did we ever sit down with the Indians? Or was
And
it
is
like,
there such a thing as a cornucopia?
there's a horn
Was
of
that
plenty.
a lie? too?
Horn of plenty.
Was that a lie?
No, it's not a lie, but I don't think it was given to the Indians.
No.
I mean, how did the Pilgrim thing work out? It was like, all right, we killed a bunch of you. We're pretty much taking over. We've been pretty much shooting you whenever randomly. But it's Thanksgiving. Why don't you guys come over?
We got a bushel of corn.
We're gonna
have at it.
We're gonna have some food, or maize, as they call it.
Yeah, maize and cornucopia. All this crap that isn't even a thing. Native Americans showed up, no problem. Thank you for this.
They sat down,
and it's like the decorative kind that you can't eat.
But
Just
I guess-
decorate your things that you have.
But that's what these people want to continue to be taught, that white people were very accepting and did everything fine, and we were welcome on this land, and we built everything, and that's how it should go.
Do you know what? If you think about it, you know,
white supremacy
I don't
and ego.
remember specifics.
White supremacy and ego, yeah.
I know that I did learn at some point, but I do remember when I was younger being terrified of being scalped. Which means
immediately has something to do with your hair.
Not my hair. I kind of remember this too.
Which
I remember like,
means-
oh my God, they took ears and stuff.
yes,
Wow.
which means we were really taught about what Native Americans did in
Yeah.
retribution in an attempt to protect themselves and to send a message.
What the others did bad.
I don't remember the other
Not
side.
us.
though.
I don't remember.
I remember Custer was slaughtered.
How?
I
Yes.
don't remember him doing all the slaughtering
could
until they were
not-
like, "Fuck this dude," and they
At
all
that
got
time,
there.
give you real details about how we killed them, what specific areas of land we stole, in what order, what year. You know, I didn't learn that, but I do remember having nightmares about being scalped.
Custer's last stand. Doesn't that sound like he was like he
So
took
brave.
he took a stand? Here's how fucked up Custer was. All the Indian tribes that hated each other got together.
Yeah.
Said,
Right.
we're killing this motherfucker
Right.
because he'd slaughtered so many of them. So that's what that. So now critical race theory is me teaching that. Like, oh, by the way,
telling
here's
what
how
really-
bad Custer was. Here's how many Native Americans he killed. That's critical race
Not
theory
just
to these
saying
people.
Native Americans scalped so many white people.
Yeah, and they killed Custer. They killed Custer. Sons of bitches.
He was taking a
Out of
stand.
nowhere.
Yeah, he was taking. He stood his
It
ground.
was his last one. They took it from him. That's what I mean. So, and we've talked about racism often, and people say there is no racism or whatever. That is embedded, inherent racism that you're not even aware of, and it
white
takes
privilege,
me
though.
in this moment thinking, what did I learn about that? And then and then you realize, oh,
What did you know about the Japanese?
I lived there, so that was different.
But
so.
what I learned about the Japanese in
They're
school
very
was that
smart and studious.
they attacked us Pearl Harbor, and it was horrible. And then they tried to take our industry away by building cars and stuff. I learned I learned there was no Japanese culture is very neat. They're very great people.
I
They're
had to
really
go to
focused.
Japanese culture
They're
classes.
focused on quality, and they're focused on details. And didn't learn
They have
that.
bidets
I learned
over
that they
there.
attacked us brutally in World War II, and then they took our auto industry away. That's what I learned. We can keep going down the line.
Do you know what's interesting? When I lived in Japan, I had to take 2 culture classes a day, I think. I remember I had 2 different culture classes, and you learned, it was really cool. It was
Only
my
you,
favorite
though.
classes.
Just you were the only one in there.
I was one of the very few. But Japanese kids took it too. But what culture classes do we teach in the United States of America when
We
in school?
just watch Jersey Shore. I think that's it. You watch. I think kids watch. That's our culture.
Got it.
No, we're not. You got to remember, we literally need a cultural shift in this country, and it goes. I want to get back to the economic thing about climate change, but anyways, CRT is bullshit. It's bullshit. We just want to teach the actual history, not the made up. The Pilgrims sat down and fed the Indians. Not Custer stood up. We want to. Here's what really fucking
Can we
happened.
still make the paper bag fringy dress?
See
though?
that I think for kindergartners and first graders to get them into something, and depending, as long as you're not saying now you're dressed up like that. All right, you white kids dressed as soldiers, you kill them. Now if we don't that we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's how you get little kids,
We did have pilgrims too. I chose the bag. Because it was the more fashionable of the two.
fringe. It's fringe. It's paper bag fringe. I want that.
I'm not sure if the fringe was mandatory, but I do remember with my little plastic craft scissors making fringe around the armhole in the bottom. It was very cute. I bet you I have a picture.
Even
of that
then, you were within
somewhere.
fashion. Even then, you were like fashionable.
If you feel like the world is too much to take, which I certainly feel like right
After
now.
this discussion, I think so. Yes.
You need Logitech Ultimate Ears Fits so that you can tune it out, and you can really tune it out because they actually really fit your ears, unlike a lot of the other ones, and they don't hurt. And they will blow your freaking mind. It is such a cool technological advance in
You put yours
earphones.
in. You got yours in, right?
Can't even open them. It says on the do not open unless you're ready to do the fitting because they react to light.
Right.
It's insane. Like it's next level. Ultimate Ears Fits is what we're talking about. It's a molding thing. So
you put it in your ear, you set it up on your phone, and then you put it in your ear, and you hit it, and like it warmed up a little bit, and it fit into my ear perfectly. I wore them on the plane. I can't hear anything except what's
because
going
you
on.
now have, and I don't know if we've explained this very well, but this rubber type stuff that goes into your ear, once the light hits it, it warms up, it molds into your ear. So then you have your own custom earphones. Like I couldn't wear his, I could, but they wouldn't fit as well. You couldn't wear mine, they're yours. And it really fits in so they don't fall out when you run.
Right.
It blocks out all of the outside noise. It's pretty freaking amazing. Just saying. Most comfortable and awesome sound.
And they come in a
premium
cute
sound.
little case.
They do.
But the really, really good quality.
60 seconds it takes for them to mold to your ears.
But don't open the package. It's a literally opaque black package they come in. And you get ready to open them, and then to do it and put them in.
Open them in a dark room for your
and the
photography.
sound fucking killer.
This actually says engineered to provide a full warm sound with a tight punchy low end, and you can set custom EQ presets through the app. So you put the app on your phone.
So you can actually get on your phone and you can adjust it's actually Bluetooth to the speakers, and you can actually adjust how you like your music.
Yeah, it's next level. If you have other earphones, you need to try these because you're going to be like, why did I wait
And I had other earphones, and I was like, I don't think anybody's going to match these, and I was wrong. They were better. I liked them.
Those other ones that you had hurt. They hurt me.
They fall out when I run.
And they fall out. So anyway, if you don't like them as much as we do, no worries. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Plus, you get free shipping, free returns, and a 1-year warranty on the product. So they obviously really stand behind it. So do we. For a limited time, get 15% off your pair of Ultimate Ears Fits true wireless earbuds at ue.com/fits. Promo code Titus at checkout. That's 15% off with promo code Titus at ue.com/fits.
Hear the world in your head.
Yeah, they're pretty
good slogans.
They're really
good
Hear
slogans.
the world in your head. That sounds like your.
I don't know if you want to.
That didn't sound. It sounded
not
very
these days.
insane. My mom did, and it didn't work out. So I want to get back to the economic thing of climate change. So if we have all these people working, it's like 3 million plus jobs, and we spend the next 10 years putting solar on every roof in America, we could literally change everything to the point where everybody's generating their own electricity. You could put it back into the grid. Lower income places that couldn't get the things could almost have free power. It's all possible. But it's not possible if our government is run by the fucking corporations that want to keep the status quo so they can continue to make as much fucking money as they want to make.
Sociopaths.
Yeah, exactly. And you think we keep hearing about all these billionaires are great, they're great philanthropists, and they're not.
No, right.
They're not. You built rockets.
No, they're just getting a tax credit.
Yeah, you built space exploration. I'll bet you it's all right. I'll bet you it's all a write-off. And did you see this? Look at Bezos' logo for his
Oh, hilarious!
Have you seen
hilarious.
it? Hilarious!
It's a penis coming out of the text.
Oh, you showed me that. Was that his logo?
Yes, I tweeted that. I go, didn't they have a one meeting where someone go, "Hey, boss, this looks like a dong. It looks like a big dick. What are you really?"
Well, everyone's just like, "Fuck this guy." He didn't notice. Let's see if we can get this
you
in.
Think so? Don't
That's
say nothing.
the logo you showed me. You didn't tell me what it was. You said, "What does this look like to you?" And I said, "A penis."
Yeah.
And you said, and then that was it. I didn't know that thing that you showed me.
That was it's on his jacket.
I'm trying to find
It looks
it
like
again.
it doesn't just look. It's not. Listen, a rocket straight up one thing. It's off to the side
Yeah,
with a
it
little
was
upward.
curved.
What is going on, dude?
How do I find that
It's got a foreskin.
again?
Good.
It's got
Blue
pee
Origin.
coming out of it.
Blue Origin logo.
Oh, Blue Origin.
Yeah.
My dad, everything he said this weekend that was really immature. My dad's 79. Is he 79? He's about to be 79 in September.
It never goes
and
away.
Everything, everything he said, my brother would be like, "What's that on your nose?" And he goes, "A booger." And my dad said, my dad was like, he's very quiet and low level.
Yeah, you got someone else.
And
it's a booger. Because I literally had a booger on my nose.
Every fart joke, my dad was like, "Yeah."
I don't get these at home.
No, he doesn't.
He does not.
It's all I'm seeing is a thing with a feather.
What?
That's how you see it? God damn it.
No, I saw the penis yesterday.
Oh, it is a feather, but on the jacket it looks like...
Where did you see that on? Oh, yeah.
See on his jacket?
That's what you showed me.
See on his jacket?
It's a feather. It's a penis-shaped feather. It actually has a little knob on the end.
Thank you.
It's got a head.
No feather has a baby fist on the end of it. Thank you. Got it.
It's not the best choice.
It is not the best choice. Didn't someone go, you know, man, I know it's a feather and we all get it's a feather, but on the jacket, dude, it looks like a dick. It's, not to be an asshole, but it looks like a dick. Jeff.
Right.
And by the way, again, rich guys who have no fucking concept. Bezos, he's going to space to do what? He's not doing, like, Elon Musk is at least helping NASA out. Elon Musk went to space because we were using Russian rockets to go to space, and Russia was in charge. Wait, and he's trying to get us to Mars so we can become a multi-planet species.
I know, but
he's got a goal.
Let me, because I always like to play devil's advocate with you.
You're just mean.
No, I just think that if we all sit here and say the same thing, that's no fun. And plus, you and I don't agree on everything often.
Most of the time.
99% of the time.
Exactly. 98, but you're right.
You're arguing the same point.
Yeah, there he goes again.
It's doing the bit.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, that he built that empire, right? I certainly don't agree with
Elon Musk?
No, Jeff Bezos, a lot of the things that he's done with his workers and stuff, but can't he do whatever he wants with his own money?
Yes.
Without everybody giving their opinion?
Yes, and I believe that if you made $138 billion, you don't pay zero tax.
I know, but
you
listen.
pay 10%,
listen,
or like everybody else.
He didn't do that. Our government did that.
And by the way, Tim Cook said that.
What is the solution?
But here's the thing.
I 100% agree with that. They paid zero in taxes in 2018. But you're not trying to listen right now.
I know what you're going to say, though.
What does he do? Does he just call the IRS and say, you guys don't want anything, but can I please give you $500 million?
No, but what he did before, though,
Yeah.
is he sent money to all these politicians who voted those tax cuts in.
That was smart.
So if
He's a thinker.
so instead of spending $500 million per year in taxes, he went, here's $50 million to these guys, vote this tax cut through so my taxes go to zero. That's what he did. That's where our country's fucked. Is that you can't, like, I don't
But
listen.
that's a governmental issue.
Listen, with my a governmental issue that's not going to get fixed. Congress can only vote out lobbyists, but lobbyists pay them money. It's like me going, I am not working for comedy clubs anymore.
Well, there's so many things that Congress has to vote on to make it happen. Yes, and
their own health care,
term limits. That they're never. That was a major flaw in the structure of our government from the get-go.
Even if he's king of the hill, you look at him as a fellow human being. I'm like, okay, buddy, don't you realize what you've exploited workers and you've exploited the tax loopholes and you have this pile of money
that no one could ever spend.
You could take a little bit of that for humanity and be a fucking hero.
I don't even want that. I don't even want that.
Like
you know what I would like?
The woman did.
So we pay.
Yes.
And let's say after all the tax breaks we get and every house, all the stuff we get. Let's say on my income every year, my yearly income, I end up paying. It should be 36%, but we get tax breaks and stuff. Let's say I end up paying 19% of my income. I pay 19%. I use the tax loopholes like they should be used. I don't make $1 billion. I don't make anywhere near. We make it. I believe that fucking Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and anybody needs to pay their fucking fair share. And if you took, so he made 138 billion. All right, he gets 19%. But also, you're paying your workers; they can't go to the bathroom. There's all kinds of this crazy shit.
In the face of that, and unions that are getting.
There's a lot of issues there with Amazon and him, but So
I'm just saying, pay your listen. If you work your ass off in America, you can. I don't have a college education. I do great.
You don't have a college education?
College education.
Oh.
See, I can't even say. I can't even say education. Exactly, I proved it with the sentence.
Wrapped it up in one.
I don't have a college education. See, you can tell. You know I'm right. You know I'm not lying. But I make more money than anybody in college because I worked my fucking ass off. I write. I learned how to write. I learned how to do this. I learned production. I didn't go to college for it. Correct. So I deserve to make that money. Jeff Bezos started a company that pretty much makes it so people that have to stay home all the time, they can have stuff delivered and then get anything you want. And it helps, by the way, how many companies are thriving because of Jeff Bezos? I'm fine with that. Dude, you should listen. If you made $138 billion, okay, everybody in the world is sending you money and using your service. You still have to pay your share because we gave you the right. The country you live in gave you the right to make that money. And your job is to pay your share
off of infrastructure that was paid by taxes.
Well, for example,
and he uses more, and his company uses more. I just want to point this out. His company uses more infrastructure, roads, bridges, airlines than almost any other company. More than anything, he should fucking pay his share.
Right. Okay.
Go ahead.
Good. We didn't put some elephant music in the middle of
by the way,
people always go to stretch it out. He's gonna do something there. Don't ruin his moment.
Everyone just look at cameras like, are we gonna talk or
just put bird sounds in the back and crickets,
tumbleweed.
I agree, but that's a governmental issue that needs to be handled, and it requires people. For example,
integrity.
more greatly benefited from a Donald Trump presidency financially. But we voted
we did for the
out.
tax cut.
We personally, yes. And because we have businesses and but we did not want that. We did not want that tax bill. We were very vocal about not wanting that.
We were
tax
also
break.
fine. We were good. I don't mind. Listen,
That's what I'm saying, though. It's going to take people that are benefiting from it standing up and saying, okay, you know what? This isn't right. And there was someone, it was Tom Steyer? Was that who it was?
Tom Steyer. There was a couple guys. There's a great TED Talk about, so I forget the millionaire's name, but there's a great TED Talk where he goes, people keep giving rich people tax cut. He goes, but I can only buy so many pairs of pants. I can only own so many homes. He goes, I have so much money. He goes, you need to make sure that the rich got that money because of the freedom that they currently live in. I personally have benefited from the First Amendment beyond almost anybody I know. Any comedian has. And I can pay my bills, live my life, and have a family and a life because of the freedom this country affords. I fucking hated when all the taxes, because my ex screwed it up so bad, and we got assessed all that money and we had to pay it. But I also realized that because of this country and the freedom it provides, I could, and we did. And
that tax bill meant that you did well.
Right. So I don't understand why everybody just don't want, but I don't understand if you have 138 billion, which there was a great graph on Twitter where they were actually making you swipe how much. They said 1 million and you swipe and it goes about maybe 2 swipes. And then they said 1 billion. And to get past 1 billion, it was just a bar graph. It was like 400 swipes to get to the end of 1 billion. And they kept putting these little things in, you're still not there. And it's so much money. $1 billion is so much money that you couldn't spend it in a lifetime unless you were a country. So I'm not saying that we should take his money. I'm not saying he shouldn't be rich. The one thing, when Eisenhower was president and we paid, and the top tax rate was 90%, which nobody paid. Everybody had tax loopholes. But it was the top tax rate, if you were a moron and didn't use any loopholes, was 90%.
Phil was just paying.
Yeah, why my money's gone every year? I don't understand it. So
Phil's homeless.
What's a loophole? But those rich people aren't going to be poor. They're still going to be richer than anybody. They're still going to be richer than anybody.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
not saying it should be that.
It is people that are that control any given situation.
True.
Being white, being wealthy, things like that. If they think that any little bit is being taken from them, any little bit of equalization in race or finances or anything, that means that you're losing. Yeah. And that it's the same thing with these
rich
racism
people.
Issues and with money. It's the stock market, the guy jumping out of the window because he lost,
I was during
$100 million or something.
During the crash, there was a rich German who went from $1.3 billion to $840 million.
And he jumped.
And he killed himself.
Wow.
So try and keep
I
perspective.
am no longer a billionaire. I must kill myself. I'm out. I am out. I leave this mortal coil very poor.
You bring
Only
shame upon
800
this account.
Yeah, I'm under $1 billion.
Try and keep perspective and stay healthy, and you can do that with ritual.
Nice.
Keep yourself straight. Multivitamin company that we love. They have this new protein powder out. We've talked about this a little bit, and it's excellent.
Yep.
I am very picky about this stuff. I
Not
can't
clumpy?
stand.
It's good. It's really good.
I always want vegan because it's a better, cleaner, higher quality protein, but it's always grainy. It's like drinking sand.
Right.
But this one is not. This one is
dissolves well. It actually, every time you bring me a smoothie with it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Also, the vitamins, you take stress on so much that you need these vitamins because you have to stay running optimally.
My immune system.
Yeah. Because, I've never seen anybody inject stress like you do. But ritual,
that's another podcast. I was about
the
to
vitamins.
start to say, and then,
by the way, that'll be my next Armageddon update about stress. That's
You guys don't even have to show up for that one.
You just got
It'll
everything.
Just be me like this.
White knuckling the microphone. Let me explain stress to you.
There will be an intermission during which time you can.
But the ritual vitamins helps
snacks.
get rid of that.
No,
I'm not saying it gets like CBD. I'm saying that
it supports your daily health. So
I say in the morning, like if I'll take, because sometimes I double the ritual vitamins up, and I just feel better in the morning, especially if I've been drinking.
Why would you
Personally.
double them up? You don't need to. It's balanced for you.
I don't know, because it doesn't make my pee bright yellow like every other vitamin does.
He's not a doctor.
So I assume I am not a doctor at all.
Or an expert in any way.
And yet, do I sound like one? Do I have the I just have the arrogance of one.
I like that you can go on their website and everything's traceable. Their vitamins, their protein powder, the ingredients that they put in it. They have a visible supply chain you can go and look at. So you know exactly what's in there, where the ingredients come from, and why they're included. This protein powder is excellent to support your system every day. I highly recommend protein powder every day. And if you need one more selling point,
she is a doctor.
No, I was a fitness competitor and
model.
PhD.
It helps you
in fitness
lose weight.
Abs for days.
It helps you if you
Esquire.
You need to get your protein. You need to get your macros in general. So this that we had, it's a handcrafted vanilla flavor. It's a direct from farmer vanilla bean extract, sustainably harvested in Madagascar. Like, come on, you're never going to hear that with protein powder. So try it. Why not shake up your ritual? Try something new and make it less scary, because you get a money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% in love, plus listeners get 10% off during your first 3 months. All you have to do is visit ritual.com/Titus to add your essential protein today. That's ritual.com/Titus.
And for real, we use it every night.
It's certified non-GMO. Yep. It's allergen and gluten-free, which is great for me. It's no fillers, no color. It's good product.
The gluten thing that you're allergic to is a bummer for Mexican food. It's just a bummer. Like it's a bummer sometimes that you can't eat.
I don't know you have an allergy.
She still does. It's like over the wedding, she was like, we got back and she's like,
oh,
my stomach's
really
falling out.
I've really been very balanced and had everything in a great place. I was doing very well. And then I went to grandma's house and grandma is like, I don't eat a lot of sweets. And then she said that with like cake crumbs flipping off of her lip.
She had frosting on her lip.
And that was our second dessert of the day because we had one with lunch and that was dinner. And I said, Grandma, I really can't eat gluten or dairy. And she was like, well, I don't eat it either. But yesterday I did have a pizza. I got a whole pizza. I ate half of it for lunch. I ate the rest of it, the second half for dinner. Would you like...
It's just gluten and dairy.
Would you like lasagna? I have a lasagna I made for you. We could do that. And I was like, how can you keep listing things that are only made of gluten and dairy? Like, would you like a cheese bread pile?
Though. She always does that. Remember the two half cups of ice cream?
I did. I ate 2 1/2 cups. She said it again.
I'm eating so good, and all I had was 2 1/2 cups of ice cream.
She told me that she thinks. She said, "What was?"
Did she eat a cake too? There was
what
a cake.
Was that word? 2 thin slices of fruitcake. I said that to her this time. Don't you know that 2 thin slices equal one big?
One thick slice.
It does not, because I had 2 thin slices.
She said it separately. That's what you're right. In her mind.
And she walked to go get it, so she got her exercise from her power chair to the kitchen.
I can stand now. So easy.
It does not lift me up. What was I just going to tell you? Oh, she said, I was telling her that a lot of people suffer with the SAD diet from IBS, from some form of irritable bowel syndrome, and it causes bloating. And she said, what was that word that you said? And I said, bloating. And it's where your stomach protrudes. And she said, I have that. And I said, okay. She said, it just sticks out like a pooch. That's what she kept telling me. So I said, okay, well, you can't eat gluten and dairy. And that's how we got into that conversation. And then that's when she offered me lasagna for dinner.
Had the pizza.
So she now thinks that she might have bloating because she's learned that word now, which is a medical condition that causes your stomach to stick out. She's the cutest. She's cute. She's
cute. The best. I never had a grandma, and she is literally textbook grandma.
Oh man, she is so good. Yeah. I had so much fun with her before everyone got there. It was really good, and I did write down some material that I won't share today. But
you don't have any allergies, do you? to anything? Wow.
Lucky.
Yes.
Yes, divorce and going to
No.
court. I'm allergic to court.
No, there was a period of time where we would get in Malonis Lake to wakeboard, and he would get out. That night,
there's a picture of you online, I think, with a flag.
That was
No,
him.
that's not
circulating.
Me. That's not me. That's not me. I
would
want
get out,
to talk about that, by the way.
and he would get out of the lake, and he would have snot pouring out of his face, and his eyes would get swollen, and all night. Anytime he'd gotten that lake all night, you would keep me up. Remember, coughing, snot.
There's something in that lake specific.
So he
Was
got
it like a black sludge
he got a helmet
depositing
with attached nasal plug.
It was these metal clips. It would just squeeze your nose.
You're just gotta
Didn't
stop
do
it from coming
anything
out.
else, any other hole in my head. It didn't fix my ears or my mouth, but it would just squeeze the shit out of my nose.
But he was very cool.
You don't need the nose.
Wakeboarding. He was
All
Dennis.
Hit it! Hit it! Yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
By the way, if you want to be cool, you should try Cuts Clothing.
Wow, you are getting through all that. How many ads? We had 35 ads.
59 ads. Yeah.
Cuts Clothing will
t-shirts
up
are so
your
good.
game level, gentlemen. Although I stole your
Steal.
sweatshirt,
Yes.
and I sometimes steal your shirt. The
T-shirts. Yes, you do.
But that sweatshirt is the shite.
Yeah, it is.
And it's my color.
The fabrics are awesome, but also the style of the T-shirts I really, really enjoy.
Well, it's the
little longer?
fabric, the Pika fabric.
Yeah.
It's
Tell us about cut shirts because
so
I like
good.
them.
Well, I mean, you can tell what you like. Visibly, I love that they're cut well, they fit well, they're a little bit longer, so they're not drawing up after you. Like guys that let their shirts dry and get short, it's just not a good look.
Tiny child look.
They do.
I like to tie it right in front. Looks really-
They do shirts, polos, hoodies, crew sweatshirts. The guy was just trying to reinvent the t-shirt. That's how this whole company got started. And there's a lot of choices. You got to go on their website and look. They're excellently priced, awesome fabric, the kind of fabric that doesn't fade when I wash and dry your stuff. I do the laundry because he ruined
Won't let
a
me.
lot of because
Everything is pink and gray now.
No,
and
I did laundry my whole life.
pants are now shorts.
We're now for
No.
dolls.
And I'm too tall, and that happened several times. And he was really
He's doing it on
trying.
purpose.
He was trying.
These shorts are now gonna be
I put
bikini
in our
bottoms.
wedding vows that I
It's
would always do the
it's
laundry
not
because I'm tired of my
But I
pants
washed
being
them wrong.
shorts.
I dried them wrong.
And there's always
There's a difference.
You wash them wrong too, because you'll do
No.
you do colors with whites. On
I
the
do
hot.
not. I always got a pile of black stuff, pile of colored stuff, white stuff. That's how I do it.
And in the white stuff, when you did laundry when I was
No.
gone, you washed 2 paper towels. And so that is
Oh, because they were in your pocket.
yes,
I've
he
done
never
that.
emptied his
Yeah.
pocket. So I was like, just stop.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
things that you can do. I'll do
Sometimes
this.
there's bolts and screws in my pockets too from working on the stupid cars. So.
Hot Wheels sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
I
there's a
love
Hot-
what's in his pot. An apple stem. It's like some of my favorite stuff. It's
Some
really
Bazooka
sweet.
Joe gum is in
Yes,
there.
it's so
Little
sweet.
baseball card.
Did you find my Pokemon cards? Did you find my Pokemon cards?
Lottery tickets. I always find
and a
lottery
gun.
tickets.
Yeah, what? A
Back
gun.
in the day when you carried cash loose in your pocket, I used to make actually that's really why I first started doing your laundry, because I used to make bank. I mean, like I got hundos out of the laundry sometimes, but you quit doing that. Now it's like this crap. Anyway, so this fabric,
Times
I
are tough.
personally get to see how it holds up, and it's not fading. It doesn't stretch out because it's a tri-blend. It looks the same when you take it out. High quality fabric, which I really love.
And finally, somebody gives a shit about men's
Clothing, right?
clothing. Men's,
Yeah, it's not just a
nobody
square
really
of
cares.
fabric with a neck hole.
Yeah,
Cuts are good. By the way, they're my favorite. They're my favorite t-shirts in my drawer, actually.
It's not just a lifestyle. It's not just clothing. It's office leisure apparel for the sport of business. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/Titus. Cutsclothing.com/Titus for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. That's what GQ magazine called it. So there you go. Listen to GQ. Get this damn
That's
shirt.
good. My dad used to say GQ. He definitely had a problem with GQ.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, I already know. Just thinking about your
What it
dad's
meant.
sensibility.
Yeah, he would-
Yes, we can move on from that. What next?
Different G meaning? Is that what?
Yeah.
Oh.
G and Q.
Yeah, he would,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
GDQ.
By
yeah.
the way, Carrying Monsters, the live COVID special, is now available on ChristopherTitus.com. You can go download
He did a great
it.
job on the trailer for it too.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
So go to his website. You can own it now. It can be your very own. It's the brand new one.
ChristopherDice.com, and we're touring with the new one, Zero Side Effects.
Tonight we are in Lowell, Arkansas at the Grove Entertainment Complex, which sounds very fancy. I have a staying in Bentonville though, because it's one of our favorite hotel chains is there, which I was really surprised at. I'm hoping because it's a little bit, but it is the home of Walmart.
The home of Walmart. They have a home?
They have a home.
It's very big. It's big.
So we're going to go check that out. We're going to go see what we see.
I want to talk about Jeff Bezos. Not Jeff Bezos, sorry. Zucker.
I then want to tell people we added a second show in Omaha on July 22nd.
Yep. We already sold out the first one.
Yep. And then I think they upped the capacity again, though. So there might be some release tickets for the first one. Check that out. Omaha Funny Bone. And then July 23rd and 24th on our COVID tour, we're going to Kansas City, Missouri for 4 shows. So Friday, Saturday, 2 shows each night.
So just, by the way, monitor your COVID deaths in your city, and the higher the number, the more likely we're going to be there. Thanks for messing my joke up. She took my punchline before I got to it.
I was trying to say it. I was trying to do it in unison where we both went, we'll be there.
Okay, got it.
All right, on 3.
Okay.
By the way, if you're, let's do it again. By the way, check your COVID death numbers in your town, because the higher the number, the more likely that we'll be there.
Ding. Not long after that, we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio at the Funny Bone, July 29th through 31st. And then we're doing one show August 1st in Toledo at the Funny Bone. So get on that. And wear a mask.
Jeff Zuckerberg, I got to talk about this. Jeff Zuckerberg put a video out this last week after the 4th of July where he was on a hydrofoil.
Jeff Zuckerberg.
I was like, Mark.
There's another one of these
sorry,
rich
Mark,
assholes.
Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, well, yes, and I got the name wrong. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. It was Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mark Zuckerberg, yeah.
So he's on a $20,000 hydroplane electric wakeboard.
They make those. They make those.
Is that what that
yes.
is? He wasn't attached to a boat?
No, it's electric. It's an electric hydrofoil wakeboard.
I was wondering.
They're like, I looked them up. They're like 22 grand. And then he's by the way, they're filming him from his $150,000 ski boat that was probably launched from his $300 million yacht. And he's on this thing holding an American flag. And I just thought, oh yeah, he's just like us.
Oh yeah,
he's just like us.
He's not tone deaf at all.
I gotta be honest. A tone deaf. How do you not know? How does Branson get off the fucking spaceship that just went to space and goes? You know what?
I'm gonna out asshole him.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, because we want it to be for everybody. Yeah. Everybody's gonna go to space one day, 300 years from now, when we're all in space. I always said they're gonna have the spaceship Amistad to send the workers up to help these guys. So. Why we are now, they were saying that when the economy crashed in 1929, they were saying that the percentage of rich people, they owned 18% of all the wealth. Like it was like 16 families owned like 18% of all the wealth. Currently, we are at like 6 families or 8 families own 19% of the wealth. And I think we're going to look back on this when the economy finally does take a shit, because eventually cycles just repeat. What's going to happen is we're going to look back and go, remember when those fucking 2 idiots, they were just randomly built their own spaceships and just flew to space and back? Doesn't that sound like some great Gatsby shit?
While the whole rest of the country
and while the other
world,
asshole was off his fucking yacht on an electric hydrofoil waving an American flag. It's like, how are you so tone deaf that in the face of a pandemic and people starving and the fucking homeless situation we have across the country, how are you so tone deaf you're like, I'm going to space and I'm gonna fucking go my hydrofoil wakeboard. Look at me, I got an American flag. I'm like you guys. Make sure the yacht's ready when I get there. I just feel like I don't mind that you're rich. I mind that you're an asshole and rich.
And you're throwing in everybody's face.
Yeah, there's some other guys. There's a guy I follow on Twitter who has a giant multi-million-dollar company, billion-dollar company, and he cut his salary his salary can't be higher than the highest paid worker. So he actually cut his salary to 70 grand. He's still in stock in the company. He said, I'm fine. I already had money. I'm fine.
That is a baller move.
It's a baller move. And he said he wrote something. I gotta look at Greg something. I looked the guy up and he was talking about how what it's done for my company is it's made everybody who works for me willing to kill themselves to get the company because they're getting paid well to do it. And he goes, we're doing better than we've ever done. And at the end of it, he's still making money. He still owns the company, but his salary is this. Now, I guess it's easier to cut your salary when you're making millions of dollars, but at least he did do it. I just don't understand. It's so funny for people claiming that they're Christian and people claiming, we follow God. It's stunning to me that how few of them actually live the tenets of Jesus. They live what the Bible says to do. Take care of your fellow man. Make sure that that he also has food. Make sure that he also has a place to lay his head. And boy do they bitch though when it's not for them. Man, we're full of shit. Human beings are full of shit. And that's the Titus podcast for today.
Yep.
I just got it. George Carlin was so right. Human beings as a species, we are full of shit.
Destined to repeat the same mistakes. I guess I think like part of what I was saying earlier is that I think everybody is so triggered and I'm really tired of it. Yeah. I think that you can have a different opinion and I don't have to manically try and ram my fact-based opinion down your throat in order for me to get through my day. I am able to be with family members who disagree with me and not feel the need to make sure that they know that I'm right and I'm blah, 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 and the facts and it's all right.
She's talking about me, by the way. She's specifically talking about me. Right.
And so, I think that that's what people do everywhere, and people have started being extremely unkind to one another. We've noticed it. It's really harsh.
That's what I agree with you about. I believe this. If someone is telling me something that I know specifically to not be true, literally, I've looked it up, I've researched it, I know that what you're saying is bullshit, it's best for me now to just go, that's what you believe? Okay.
And it doesn't feel like, you are.
No, you're mentally ill. You can't argue with mentally ill people.
Yeah.
And if you have a fact presented to you and you go, no, that's not what I believe. Okay, you're fucking mentally ill. You're actually mentally ill. You are trying to, people are now trying to find what they already believe. I know your point and they diverge a tiny bit. I don't need to argue with them though. You're right. I don't.
And,
see you on the ventilator, fucker.
People.
keep doing that. That's just, you start to make a very rational kind of a thought, and then he just fucking axes it.
Talking about
it's just machetes the fuck out of it.
No, but I sucked your mind going, I agree with you 100%, and then I just
went 100%.
Then I went me.
All right. It's time to go now.
No, I agree with you. We don't have to argue, but that's what I need to give up.
There's a problem right now. I mean, we're in the airports and people, it's packed. It is
crazy.
Out of control. We're hearing from more and more people that work for the airlines that people are nastier than ever before. Yeah. In the last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 people on 2 or 3 different flights tried to open the door and jump out during flight. It's becoming a thing.
Yeah. What? You can't do it because of the pressure. You literally couldn't do it because of the pressure.
A lady, I think, got duct taped to the seat by passengers and flight crew.
This was on a Spirit Airlines.
It's becoming a trend.
What?
And here's how crazy you agree. On Twitter, someone responded to that exact post with, because the captain is the captain of a ship, maritime law, he should have chucked her ass out the plane. Well, to do that, you have to open the fucking door, you fucking moron. What are you talking about? Like but you're right. We all think we're right, and we all think that our point of view is valid. I honestly don't. I go look at it. I don't think my point of view is valid until I find the facts, and I go, no, that's just what happened.
I will say that, the things that everybody looks at in their little bubble, because of suggested things tracking our behaviors. Now we are only living inside of a bubble of our school of thought.
Yep.
And so people think that, everything is a certain way, but other people are seeing totally different things.
Yes.
So I think on your social media, you should actually start looking at different stuff,
on purpose.
By the way, the AI. Just go look up ISIS. And start going, what's ISIS up to?
Yeah.
And then see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah. I like Russian oligarchs, and
just see who shows up at your house.
Yeah, there you go.
So extreme about everything. So extreme. Or you could just follow Ben Sass. That might be less extreme.
If you're curious.
And Adam Kitzinger, who's a Republican, who's like it's funny. I don't care what party you are. Adam Kinzinger is a Republican. I really don't. Adam Kinzinger goes, hey, the facts are Trump lost. That's how it is. Sorry.
That's the only reason why you like him.
No, because he's honest and factual. That's all I care about. I'm doing the point. I did it. Boop.
People that listen, all they can hear is dunk, 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 dunk.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that.
I add sound effects to it, so it's like a boom.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotta go now.
All right, guys. While she's wrapping it up, you could just give me the high sign next time. Just be like,
high signs don't work with you. I learned that when we first started dating.
I don't know.
I kick
what
him under
signs
the table in front of everyone to try and get his attention. You
thought
go,
we had
why do you keep kicking
Why are you kicking
me
my
and
feet?
doing your eyes like this?
Why'd you stop
Why
hurting
do
me?
you keep doing your eyes? Why
What?
do
You're
you
whispering?
keep
I can't hear you.
pointing towards the door with your
I
head?
haven't done that in years.
Okay.
I'm not saying I never did it. I'm saying I haven't done it in years.
You're very honest.
I always thought I am very honest.
Yes.
Guys, thanks for watching and listening and tolerating us. Do me a favor, go to Christopher Titus TV on YouTube to see all of our content, which we're constantly doing. Our videos are fun and funny. Also go to ChristopherTitus.com if you want any signed DVDs, whatever, I sign them. Also, my new special is out. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. Also, go to ChristopherTitus.com to see the last 2 episodes of Titus that we filmed during COVID. They came out awesome. And go see us in Arkansas. And everywhere where there is COVID, we'll be there. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Hylinder. Later.
Peace out. I would like some banjo music.
There can be only one Hylinder. It's too pretty. That's too pretty.
Okay, make it nasty.
Keep going,
so he'll keep going.
Only one.